Hello everyone, you're watching part 2 of Naruto's Dark Revenge, the time travel theory. If you haven't seen the previous video yet, make sure to check it out so you can follow the story from the beginning. If you're enjoying the way this story is evolving, don't forget to show your support by hitting the like button and sharing. Let me know in the comments which part of this episode was your favorite. Now let's get straight into the story. In part 1, we witnessed the total annihilation of the Shinobi world. In a future destroyed by the Otsutsuki god, an aged and broken Naruto Uzumaki used his final strength and a forbidden relic to travel back in time, but he didn't return as the hero we once knew. Driven by the pain of loss, this version of Naruto abandoned the will of fire to walk a path of darkness. He intercepted Nagato during the Pain arc and stole the Rinnegan to claim its godlike power. After turning his back on the Leaf Village and becoming a rogue ninja, he resurrected Orochimaru, forcing the legendary Sannin into servitude to assist in his quest for absolute power. Naruto's mission led him to the 5 Kage Summit, where he dismantled Danzo Shimura and reclaimed Shisui Uchiha's legendary eye, Koto Amatsukami. But as the dust settled, a familiar shadow appeared. Sasuke Uchiha arrived, only to find his former best friend transformed into a cold, ruthless stranger possessing the power of the 6 paths. Now, the 2 greatest powers of their era stand face to face. Sasuke was furious at Naruto's interference. He lashed out at Naruto, but even in his rage, he realized Naruto had left Danzo alive as a broken shell rather than killing him outright. Sasuke refused to accept help with his revenge, especially from Naruto. Suddenly, a strange distortion appeared in the air, and the masked man, Obito, emerged. He had been searching for Naruto for a long time, yet he remained eerily calm, sitting aside to watch the confrontation. Sasuke took a deep breath and closed his eyes. When he opened them, his Mangekyo Sharingan was burning with intensity. He rapidly wove hand signs. Fire style, Phoenix Sage, fire. Naruto dodged the projectiles with lightning speed. Using the flames as a distraction, Sasuke lunged forward with his Kusanagi blade, aiming directly for Naruto. Naruto didn't retreat. He pulled out a kunai and parried the strike, sparks flying as their weapons clashed. Sasuke was internally stunned. The Naruto he knew relied on raw strength, but this Naruto displayed a level of taijutsu precision that was terrifyingly refined. Naruto grabbed the flat of Sasuke's blade with his bare hand and disarmed him, tossing the sword aside. Sasuke taunted him. Are those Rinnegan eyes just for show? But Naruto was conflicted. He didn't want to use the divine powers of the 6 paths against his best friend. Sasuke took this hesitation for weakness. He sheathed his sword and stepped back, preparing his most lethal attack. Naruto, if you don't take this seriously, you're going to die. Sasuke activated Amaterasu. Black flames erupted across Naruto's body, the intense heat beginning to sear through his defenses. If this continues, I really will turn to ash, Naruto thought. While absorbing or repelling the flames with the Rinnegan would be child's play, Naruto remained stubborn in his vow not to use those eyes against Sasuke. Sasuke watched Naruto through his fingers, clutching his left eye in pain. His gaze was a mix of hatred and hesitation, yet he did not extinguish the flames. He believed that if Naruto was removed from his path, nothing could stop him from destroying the leaf. Enduring the agonizing pain, Naruto reached into his sleeve and pulled out a scroll and an ancient ink pen. With lightning speed, he inscribed a seal and slammed both palms onto the parchment. Sealing jutsu, fire seal. In an instant, the black flames of Amaterasu burning across his body were sucked into the center of the scroll, neutralized. The elite warriors standing nearby were left speechless. Konan breathed a sigh of relief, recognizing the signature technique of Master Jiraiya. On the other side, Orochimaru couldn't help but comment, to execute such a complex sealing formula so flawlessly while literally on fire. Impressive. I am truly dying to know what kind of hell Naruto walked through to get here. Obito, watching from behind his mask, realized in that single moment that the gap between Sasuke and Naruto's power was now vast. Naruto packed away his gear and asked calmly, "Do you still wish to continue this?" Sasuke gritted his teeth in fury. Purple chakra erupted from his body, slowly manifesting into a skeletal frame. Even though this was only the initial stage of the Susanoo, a spark flickered in Naruto's eyes. He was hit with a wave of memories from the future, times when he and Sasuke fought shoulder to shoulder to save the world. Naruto moved in tandem with a shadow clone to prepare his next move. The air began to scream as the wind style, Rasen Shuriken, took shape. It was the first time Sasuke had ever seen this technique, and the shock was visible in his eyes. Naruto launched it with full force. A white vortex erupted, completely swallowing the ground where Sasuke stood. As the dust and wind settled, Sasuke remained standing, but his Susanoo's skeletal defense was nearly shattered. Bowing his head, Sasuke screamed at Naruto, "One after another. How many times are you going to provoke me?" Behind him, the Susanoo roared back to life, evolving into its next stage. Obito watched silently, wanting Naruto to keep pushing Sasuke so his power would continue to grow. Suddenly, Sasuke's Susanoo drew its bow and aimed an arrow directly at Naruto's heart. Naruto's heart hammered. He knew this was Sasuke's most lethal weapon. He didn't take any chances, pushing his Sage Mode senses to their absolute limit. As the massive arrow streaked toward him, Naruto used a big ball Rasengan to deflect its trajectory at the last possible second. Sasuke wasn't surprised this time. He loosed another, even more powerful shot that seemed to pierce the sky. Naruto bit his finger and slammed his hand onto the ground. Summoning Rashomon, 3 massive iron gates tore through the earth. Sasuke's arrow pierced the first 2 but collided with the third, vanishing into a cloud of white smoke. By now, Sasuke's visual power was almost completely spent. Exhausted, he looked at Naruto and asked, "What exactly are you?" Naruto replied with a heavy solemnity, "I am your friend, Sasuke, whether in the past, the present, or the future. That will never change." But then, Naruto's tone shifted. His voice grew deep and cold as he added, "However, as of this moment, I have officially betrayed the Leaf Village." Sasuke's entire body began to tremble with a mixture of rage and disbelief. His gaze locked onto the headband tied across Naruto's forehead. It was the very same headband Sasuke had abandoned years ago. But now, a deep, horizontal scratch ran across the symbol, the unmistakable mark of a rogue ninja. "What is the meaning of this, Naruto? You a traitor?" Sasuke's voice cracked with pure shock. Naruto didn't offer a long explanation. He simply stated that his methods no longer aligned with the ideals of the village, and that as a rogue ninja, he could pursue his ultimate goal with far more efficiency. However, he issued a chilling warning. "Sasuke, if you take your revenge on Danzo, I will not interfere. But if you harm the innocent, I will use every ounce of my power to stop you." Sasuke's fury hit the ceiling. "So, you're saying that even now, you haven't been using your full power?" Without a hint of hesitation, Naruto replied, "At least so far, I haven't even touched my limits." Sasuke let out a manic, hollow laugh. He was stubborn, but he wasn't a fool. He realized Naruto's strength had ascended to a completely different plane of existence. "I admit, your power has grown, but what do you even know about me? Do you have any idea why I want to burn the leaf to the ground?" In a calm, steady tone, Naruto dropped a truth that paralyzed Sasuke where he stood. "I know the entire truth about Itachi." Sasuke was stunned into silence. He whipped his head around toward the masked Obito, but Obito's gesture made it clear he hadn't said a word to Naruto. Though Naruto had indeed learned this truth from Obito, it was the Obito of a previous timeline. For Sasuke, the name Itachi was an open, bleeding wound. Sasuke's rage transformed into something truly horrific. A tidal wave of purple chakra erupted from his body, and within seconds, his Susanoo manifested into its most powerful, armored form. The pressure from that cold, heavy chakra was so immense that Karin, standing nearby, began to collapse. The Susanoo drew its bow once more, but this time the arrow was laced with the black flames of Kagutsuchi. Sasuke was no longer fighting to win. He was fighting to kill. Naruto's eyes flashed. Almighty push! A massive shockwave collided with the attack. Simultaneously, Naruto wove hand signs, creating hundreds of shadow clones in an instant. Every single clone held an ultra big ball Rasengan. In a coordinated strike, they swarmed Sasuke's Susanoo. Even that impenetrable armor couldn't withstand the concentrated force of the Sage Art, and it began to crack. Seizing the moment, Naruto unleashed another technique. Summoning Food Cart Destroyer. A massive toad, Gamahiro, plummeted from the sky directly onto the Susanoo, completely shattering its defenses. Naruto extended his hand. Universal pull! A powerful gravitational force dragged Sasuke through the air toward him. Sasuke tried to counter, but Naruto absorbed the black flames effortlessly and caught Sasuke by the throat. He activated the Preta Path, draining Sasuke's chakra to force him into a state of calm. Eventually, Sasuke lost consciousness. Obito emerged from the shadows to take the unconscious Sasuke and Karin away. Before vanishing, he threw a final warning at Naruto. "Take good care of those Rinnegan eyes, Naruto, because they are in fact my property." Konan and Orochimaru immediately moved to Naruto's side. "Are you all right?" Konan asked, her voice laced with concern. Naruto offered a faint, weary smile. "I've burned through more chakra than I intended. The path ahead looks challenging. I'm going to need both of you more than ever now." Suddenly, the 4 remaining Kage arrived on the scene, having abandoned their pursuit of Danzo. Leading the pack with lightning speed was the Raikage, flanked by his 2 bodyguards. Seeing the scorched earth and the lingering traces of Amaterasu's black black flames. He knew Sasuke had been there. The Raikage roared at Naruto. "Where is Sasuke Uchiha?" But Naruto didn't even look at him. His entire focus was locked onto a single face among the crowd that had gathered. His former comrades from the Leaf had arrived. Standing there, drenched in sweat and tears, was Hinata. Her Byakugan was active, frantically searching for him. Naruto's heart ached at the sight of her. "Hinata, how far have you run just to find me?" he thought. Seeing her again after so many years felt like a dream, but the bitter memories of the past and the cold reality of the present soured the reunion. In her desperation, Hinata began to rush toward him, but Naruto knew he was currently the world's target. He couldn't let her get close. Fortunately, Shikamaru sensed the danger and used his shadow possession jutsu to hold her back. The Raikage didn't wait for an answer. He shrouded his body in lightning chakra and lunged at Naruto. His speed was so immense that no one had time to react. Naruto was sent flying, skidding several meters across the ground. Conan immediately counterattacked, sticking explosive tags to the Raikage's back, but the blasts couldn't even scratch his lightning-style armor. The Raikage taunted him. "It seems you've acquired quite the eye. Absorbing Onoki's particle style in the meeting hall was its doing, wasn't it?" The Raikage was cunning. He had already realized that the Rinnegan required a short interval between absorbing attacks. He pushed his lightning-style chakra mode to its absolute limit. "I saved this speed for the yellow flash. It's a twist of fate that I have to test it on his son instead." With a thunderous boom, the Raikage charged. He was moving so fast that even a single Rinnegan couldn't track his movements. Naruto relied entirely on his Sage Mode sensory perception and shouted at the perfect moment, "Almighty push!" The Raikage's fist stopped inches from Naruto's face. For a split second, the two powers clashed in a violent deadlock before the Raikage was finally repelled. Naruto exhaled sharply, thinking, when the Raikage gets serious, he's truly terrifying. He almost broke through the pressure of the Shinra Tensei. Naruto realized his current chakra reserves weren't where they needed to be. In the past, he had always relied on Kurama's overwhelming power. If the Sage of Six Paths hadn't granted us his power back then, we never would have stood a chance against Kaguya, he mused. But this time, Naruto had resolved to find a different, more absolute path to true power. Only after learning from Naruto that Killer Bee was still alive did the Raikage's rage finally subside. Issuing one final cold warning, he immediately departed with his team to search for his brother. Gradually, the others dispersed, leaving behind only Naruto's former comrades. The Konoha 11, Shikamaru, whose mind always moves 10 steps ahead, asked point blank, "So, this is it? You've officially turned your back on the Leaf and stood against us?" Naruto's heart was heavy, but he hardened it like stone and admitted the truth. Hearing this, Sakura could no longer contain her fury. She lunged forward and struck Naruto with a devastating punch. Naruto could have easily dodged or countered, but he remained motionless, taking the blow and being sent reeling back. Sakura was trying to hold on to him in her own way, but Naruto flatly rejected her plea. "Never forget that we are shinobi," Naruto said. "A ninja is one who endures and moves forward. There are things I simply must do." He took a deep breath and walked toward Hinata. "I'm sorry." Naruto tried to maintain his cold exterior, but his voice betrayed a deep tenderness and regret for her. To the onlookers, it seemed he was apologizing for her getting hurt during the battle with pain. But in Naruto's eyes, Hinata was the wife with whom he had spent a lifetime in the future. That apology and that lingering gaze held years of hidden love and sorrow. Hinata didn't fully understand the context, but she could feel his profound helplessness. She believed that Naruto was still following his ninja way of never going back on his word. With a trembling heart, Naruto told her to stay safe in Konoha and wait for the day he returns home. This was the most emotional Naruto had been since returning to the past. He closed his eyes, centering himself. When he opened them, his gaze fell upon Neji. He made a silent vow. "This time, I will not let history repeat itself. I will not let Neji die." He turned to Neji and said, "Neji, from now on, I am entrusting Hinata's safety to you." Neji agreed instantly, for the truth he had been searching for was reflected clearly in Naruto's bright yet weary eyes. Finally, Naruto warned Shikamaru to remain wary of Danzo. Later, Naruto reached a hidden cave where Orochimaru was waiting. Naruto produced the vial containing Shisui Uchiha's eye. "For security, we transplant this eye first." With Orochimaru's surgical expertise, Naruto successfully integrated Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan into his own arsenal. Konan approached him and asked, "Now that our objective here is complete, shall we return to Omegakure?" But Naruto's plan was far more ambitious. He wanted to intercept and recruit another legendary warrior before the Raikage could reach him, Kisame Hoshigaki. In his previous life, the way Kisame fought to protect his comrades' secrets until his final breath had earned Naruto's undying respect. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of the Cloud Village, Killer Bee lay motionless, his chakra completely drained. Because Naruto had now branded himself a traitor to the leaf, Obito realized he no longer needed Kisame to feign death for a long-term infiltration mission. The pieces of the board were shifting faster than ever. Kisame's mission was simple: defeat the Eight Tails Killer Bee. With his overwhelming strength, he had completely crushed the Jinchuriki. Just then, White Zetsu appeared and instructed Kisame to take Killer Bee and meet Obito in a village 100 miles to the east. Realizing that the Raikage was already hunting him, Kisame wasted no time and set out immediately. The following morning, the Raikage and his team arrived at the site of the brutal struggle. Judging by the battlefield scars, they deduced that Kisame had already taken Killer Bee hostage. The entire Cloud Village military was mobilized to begin the pursuit. Meanwhile, in a desolate cave within the Land of Fire, Sasuke opened his eyes. He was plagued by the stinging pain of his defeat and a deep unease regarding Naruto's unbelievable power. A new fire was burning in Sasuke's gaze, a thirst to become stronger than ever before. Manipulated by Obito's words, Sasuke finally made the fateful decision to transplant Itachi's eyes into himself. He had only one goal left: defeat Naruto and burn the leaf to ash. Back at the front, the Raikage and his comrades finally cornered Kisame. Without hesitation, the Raikage lunged forward with his lightning armor active. Lariat! The impact sent Kisame reeling back several meters. Kisame thought in shock, his speed and power are even more dangerous than that blue beast from the leaf. Kisame quickly wove hand signs: water style, water shark, bullet jutsu, but the Raikage tore through the attack with his own body. Ordinary water style was useless against him. Kisame then played his trump card. Water style, great explosive water colliding wave. A massive dome of water formed, trapping everyone. Inside the water, the Raikage's speed slowed, and Kisame began to gain the upper hand. But suddenly, red chakra began to leak from Killer Bee's body. Samahada unexpectedly betrayed Kisame, swimming toward Killer Bee and feeding him all the stolen chakra. Kisame muttered bitterly, "Do you really love his chakra that much?" With Samahada refusing to provide chakra, the massive water prison collapsed. As soon as the Raikage and Killer Bee were free, they launched their combined finishing move, Double Lariat. But at that exact microsecond, a hand erupted from the earth and dragged Kisame underground. The attack missed, causing the Raikage and Killer Bee to collide with each other instead. Kisame's life had been saved. He couldn't comprehend who could have snatched him from the clutches of such powerful warriors. His savior wasn't Obito, it was Naruto. Kisame remembered meeting Naruto when he was just a boy, but today, that boy had become the world's greatest threat. Kisame resolved not to betray Obito, but it was precisely this loyalty that Naruto admired about him. Suddenly, spotting Naruto, Darui unleashed his technique, Storm Style, Laser Circus. Multiple beams from Darui's laser circus streaked toward Naruto. In a calm, steady voice, Naruto spoke, "I have no intention of fighting you right now." He turned his back on the attack and looked directly at Kisame. "Kisame-san, I know that you would never betray your comrades or your own existence under normal circumstances. That is why I am forced to take this path." In an instant, Naruto activated his right eye, casting Kotoamatsukami upon Kisame, the secret power of Shisui Uchiha that rewrites a person's will without them ever realizing it. The expression on Kisame's face shifted immediately. Naruto reached out a hand to steady him. "Kisame-san, from now on, we stand together." Kisame replied with profound politeness, "Indeed, from this moment, I am with you." Darui watched in absolute shock, unable to comprehend how someone as fiercely loyal as Kisame could become Naruto's ally in a single heartbeat. Naruto then reclaimed Samehada from Killer Bee and returned it to Kisame. This was the true terrifying power of Kotoa Matsukami. Before leaving, Naruto looked down at the unconscious Killer Bee. Suppressing the memories of their past friendship, he used Flying Raijin to teleport himself and Kisame back to Orochimaru and Konan. Naruto's next objective was a return to the Hidden Leaf. Although he was now officially branded a rogue ninja, he wanted to infiltrate his village one last time, simply to taste Ichiraku ramen again. At the ramen shop, he found himself sitting right next to Iruka-sensei. Naruto felt an overwhelming urge to speak to him, but Iruka's face was etched with a deep, hollow sadness. His favorite student was now a criminal in the eyes of the world, and that pain was visible to anyone who looked. Not wanting to deepen Iruka's sorrow, Naruto left without saying a word. Kyuchi, the shop owner, watched him go, thinking the stranger's back looked exactly like Naruto's. Naruto walked aimlessly through the crowded streets until he unconsciously reached his old apartment, but there was nothing left but ash and rubble. The walls were covered in hateful graffiti, words like demon fox and traitor. Naruto simply shook his head with a bitter smile and turned away. Having witnessed the literal end of the world, these insults meant nothing to him anymore. Passing by the cemetery, he saw Kakashi standing before the memorial stone, mourning Obito, as always, but his eyes held a despair deeper than ever before. This triggered a memory of his master, Jiraiya. In his previous life, Naruto had built a memorial for him outside the village, but this time he refrained. He remembered the future battle where he encountered Kashin Koji, Jiraiya's clone. Naruto thought to himself, if I can find Master Jiraiya's body before Amado does, then perhaps tampering with time is forbidden. But Naruto had already shattered the flow of history. He was ready to take one more risk. Finally, he reached the temporary Hokage's office. He needed to be certain whether Danzo still posed a threat. Activating his Sage mode, he instantly realized that the Danzo sitting inside was nothing more than a dummy, a decoy. Danzo was a creature of habit. He wasn't in the Hokage's office. Instead, he was hiding outside the village, holding a secret meeting with Kabuto Yakushi. Naruto thought to himself, some things never change. Before leaving the Hidden Leaf, Naruto placed a flying Raijin mark on a stone wall, ensuring he could return whenever he pleased. In the forests outside Konoha, Konan and the rest of the team were waiting near a deep pit. Naruto arrived and looked down into the darkness. There, covered in dirt and grime, was a face with its eyes still open. It was Hidan, still alive due to his cursed immortality. Naruto used universal pull, dragging Hidan's head through the air and catching it in his hand. Hidan's eyes snapped toward him, filled with pure hatred. But Naruto ignored the glare and sealed the head inside a specialized jar. Seeing this, a mysterious smile played across Orochimaru's face. Now, Naruto made the decision to head to Omegakure, the Hidden Rain village. Naruto had always carried a sense of guilt regarding this place. In his previous life, he had promised Konan that as Hokage, he would bring peace to the rain. Instead, it had eventually become a breeding ground for the Kara organization, never knowing true stability. Standing on the lake amidst a torrential downpour, Naruto vowed, "The debt I owe this place will be paid back with interest." As they entered the village, they were met with suspicious glares from the inhabitants. Naruto realized the immense difficulty Master Jiraiya must have faced while infiltrating this place. Konan wanted Naruto to step up as the new leader of the village immediately, but Naruto refused. He felt the time wasn't right just yet. They eventually reached a massive tower that Konan had prepared in advance. "Our new beginning starts here," she declared. In this 9-story building, everyone's place was assigned. Kisame took the 2nd floor, Orochimaru the 4th, while Naruto and Konan resided on the 7th. In the dead of the night, sleep eluded Naruto. He placed his hand over his stomach and activated the 8-trigram seal. Suddenly, he was standing inside his own mind, before the cage of the Nine Tails. Naruto asked softly, "Kurama, you saw those memories I brought back, didn't you?" Naruto wanted them to be the brothers they were in the future, but Kurama growled irritably, "That tame husky I saw in your memories, that isn't me. I don't recognize him." Naruto smiled sadly. "I know you like to play tough, but that was you." Kurama's rage flared. "Even if it was me, I despise what you've become. Regardless of your reasons, you are no longer the Naruto Uzumaki I knew." With that, Kurama cut off the chakra flow, ending the connection. Naruto felt the sting of rejection, but he was certain they would close the gap between them one day. The next morning, the group gathered on the 9th floor. They needed a grand strategy to deal with the ultimate threat, Otsutsuki Shibai. Naruto revealed his next objective. He would travel to every great shinobi village to seize their secret jutsu, intending to become an invincible force before the gods arrived. With the overall strategy finalized, Naruto selected his first target, the Cloud Village's specialized lightning-style taijutsu. He was certain that if he could integrate the lightning-style chakra mode with his current Sage and Rinnegan abilities, his speed and reflexes would ascend to an entirely new dimension. Before setting out, Naruto christened his new team Meiya Katsuki. Its meaning was to move from the darkness toward the light. A soft smile touched Konan's face upon hearing the name. From that moment on, the Akatsuki organization was split into two, Obito's Shadow and Naruto's Mei. Meanwhile, in the Land of Fire, Obito sat within the cavern, waiting for Kisame to return with the 8 tails. Suddenly, Zetsu appeared, with news that shook him to his core. The fiercely loyal Kisame had sided with Naruto, and Killer Bee was heading back to the Cloud Village. Obito's voice grew heavy with realization. The most loyal man betrayed me, and for someone he had no reason to trust. Only Kotoa Matsukami could achieve such an impossible feat. Naruto has truly claimed Shisui's eye. The atmosphere in the cave turned lethal. Because of Naruto's interference, the Eye of the Moon plan had ground to a halt. Capturing Killer Bee was now more critical than ever, and Obito decided it was time to step onto the battlefield himself. Back in the tower of Omegakure, Naruto stood before a mirror, looking at his reflection. He was draped in the red, clouded Akatsuki cloak. He had never imagined in his wildest dreams that he would one day wear these garments. Konan placed the Ring of Leadership, once belonging to Yahiko, before him with a sense of heavy respect. Naruto slid it onto his left thumb. Naruto, Konan, Orochimaru, and Kisame departed for the Cloud Village. Along the way, they encountered Suigetsu and Jugo, who were searching for Sasuke. Naruto recruited them into his fold for the time being. After 3 days of travel, they reached the border of the Land of Lightning. The entire Cloud Village was encased in a dome of blue chakra, an impenetrable sensory barrier. Any unauthorized entry would trigger immediate lightning strikes from the sky. To Naruto, this was a minor obstacle. He created a shadow clone, handed it a flying Raijin kunai, and launched it toward the village. As soon as the clone touched the barrier, lightning struck and it vanished. But the kunai had already breached the perimeter. In a flash of yellow, Naruto teleported to the kunai and then used summoning jutsu to pull the rest of his comrades inside. According to the plan, Konan and the others were to cause a massive distraction to draw the guards away, while Naruto would covertly infiltrate the Raikage's palace to secure the scrolls of the secret jutsu. However, the village's security forces had already detected the breach, and a massive army was already converging on the palace. The sound of explosions echoed from every direction, making it clear that the intruders were no ordinary shinobi. Cloud Village officials immediately sent an emergency message to the Raikage via thunder transmission. Meanwhile, Naruto used a transformation jutsu to take the form of Samui and move toward the Raikage's palace. However, a massive detachment of Anbu led by Dodai was already standing guard. Naruto instantly recognized Dodai as the strategist who had impressed everyone during the Fourth Great Ninja War. Dodai, being equally sharp, saw through Naruto's transformation in a heartbeat and exposed the distraction plan. Naruto shed his disguise, revealing himself in the red clouded cloak. The village shinobi screamed "Akatsuki!" and launched a coordinated lightning style Earth Flash. Naruto's eyes flashed. Almighty Push! A violent shockwave tore up the very foundation of the earth, sending the attacking ninja flying through the air. In a cold, steady tone, Naruto corrected them. "I am not Akatsuki. I am Mei Akatsuki." With that, he strode toward the palace's main gate. Dodai attempted a sneak attack from behind, but using the Rinnegan's shared field of vision, Naruto saw him coming. He manipulated gravity to hover into the air and hurled 4 black chakra receivers into the corners of the palace. Waving his hands into a seal, he shouted, "4 violet flames formation!" A wall of purple fire erupted around the palace, sealing it off from the outside world. Naruto gave Dodai a final wave and entered the building. Meanwhile, at the border, the Raikage and Killer Bee were resting when a lightning-fast mental transmission hit them. "The village is under attack! Return immediately!" Without a second's delay, the Raikage ordered Mabui. "Mabui, prepare the heavenly transfer jutsu. I need to be there now." Just as the Raikage departed, a dark, ominous vortex spiraled into existence, and Obito emerged from the shadows. "So, we finally meet. 8 Tails, Killer Bee." The Cloud Shinobi immediately went on high alert. Atsui was the first to strike with his blade, but the sword passed straight through Obito's body as if he were made of mist. Before Atsui could comprehend what happened, Obito's right eye spiraled, sucking the ninja into his dimension. Darui instantly retaliated with his laser circus, but even those powerful beams of light failed to touch the masked man. Effortlessly phasing through the relentless attacks, Obito reached Killer Bee and extended his hand. Darui reacted with lightning speed, unleashing his Black Panther jutsu. A massive leopard of black electricity lunged at Obito. To protect himself, Obito stopped his attack and phased through Killer Bee's body to the other side. The black lightning struck Bee instead, creating an electrified zone that was impossible to enter. Obito turned to Darui and remarked, "The heir to the hidden clouds, Thunder Tattoo, you are truly capable." But by then, Darui had already begun to decipher the secret behind Obito's weakness. Darui had realized that the only window to strike Obito was the split second he solidified to attack, but Obito gave him no such opening. Suddenly, Obito unleashed wood-style cutting technique. Countless jagged wooden spikes erupted with lightning speed, and the air was filled with the screams of fallen shinobi. Witnessing the slaughter of his comrades, Killer Bee spiraled into a blind rage. He immediately manifested the chakra of the 8 Tails and began charging a devastating tailed beast bomb. But against Obito's divine visual prowess, it meant nothing. Obito ignited 5 small flames and activated the Uchiha flame formation. A massive purple barrier encased Killer Bee instantly. No matter how hard the 8 Tails thrashed, he couldn't even budge the impenetrable walls. Refusing to surrender, Killer Bee detonated another massive blast within the barrier. The extreme pressure and heat caused the formation formation to warp, venting a pillar of fire into the sky. But when the smoke cleared, the barrier stood firm. Killer B, however, lay bloodied from his own explosion. Obito narrowed his right eye, pulling giant Fuma Shuriken from the Kamui dimension and pinning the Eight Tails tentacles to the ground. With one final burst of strength, Killer B triggered a chain of explosions that finally shattered the flame formation. A violent blast shook the very foundation of the earth. As the dust settled, B lay scorched and motionless. Obito stepped toward him, extending his hand. "The Eight Tails belongs to me now." Suddenly, B's eyes snapped open. He launched a chakra-infused pencil with lethal velocity. It streaked through Obito's mask, but once again, Kamui allowed it to pass harmlessly through his head. Killer B's final gamble had failed, and Obito vanished, taking the Jinchuriki with him. Meanwhile, back at the Cloud Village, the Raikage finally arrived. Seeing the four violet flames formation surrounding his palace, he let out a primal roar and shattered the barrier with a guillotine drop fueled by his lightning armor. Inside, Naruto had been frantically searching every corner, but the secret jutsu scrolls were nowhere to be found. Just then, the Raikage crashed through the wall, standing directly before him. The Raikage's fury was absolute. He concentrated his chakra into two fingers and lunged at Naruto's face. Hell's stab! Two-finger spear! Naruto's heart raced. He recognized this as the third Raikage's ultimate spear. He used almighty push to shield himself, slowly hovering into the air. The Raikage screamed, "Those eyes are wasted on a petty thief like you." A cold, icy glint flickered in Naruto's Rinnegan. A thief? When the Cloud Village pressured the Hyuga clan out of greed for the Byakugan, forcing Hisashi to give up his life and turning Neji's world into a cage, were you honorable then? Instead of acknowledging the hypocrisy, the Raikage deflected the blame onto the third Hokage. Naruto realized that words were useless. He calmly pressed his palms together. Naruto manifested a small, dense black sphere between his palms and launched it into the sky. Chibaku Tensei! The gravitational pull of the black sphere began to tear the earth apart. Rocks, debris, and entire buildings were dragged upward. The Raikage fought desperately against the lethal suction, but in the end, he was crushed between the massive boulders and imprisoned in the sky. Floating calmly, Naruto spoke in a cold tone. "I will have the secrets of the lightning-style chakra mode. No matter the cost, I will return." In the next instant, Naruto vanished using Flying Ray Jin. Seconds later, he reappeared at a safe altitude with his comrades, where the massive sphere of Chibaku Tensei was clearly visible. Konan's eyes widened in awe. "Incredible! You've mastered this technique so quickly." However, Naruto had no intention of taking the Raikage's life. He simply wanted him to feel the agony of being a bird in a cage, the same pain Neji and his father had endured. After a few moments, Naruto launched a Rasen Shuriken at the floating moon. The explosion created a massive crack in the lower half of the sphere, allowing the Raikage to escape with his life. Naruto had left his mark on the palace roof, meaning he could return whenever he pleased. Meanwhile, at Obito's secret hideout, the transplant of Sasuke's right eye was a success. He was testing his newfound strength on a white Zetsu. When Obito returned with the captured Killer B, Obito scolded him. "This is an Akatsuki hideout. Do not indulge your arrogance here." Intoxicated by his power, Sasuke challenged Obito, striking at him directly with his Susanu's blade. Obito replied with a chilling smile, "It seems this power has blinded you. Let me teach you a lesson." Obito lunged towards Sasuke, phasing straight through the impenetrable Susanoo armor. Sasuke was arrogant, but his mind remained sharp. He knew Obito's weakness, that he had to solidify to land a hit. As Obito reached for Sasuke's face, Sasuke used Kagutsuchi to erupt a wall of black flames around himself. Obito was forced to halt his attack, phasing through Sasuke's body to stand on the other side. "I haven't even made a move, and you've already wasted your visual prowess twice," Obito taunted. Infuriated, Sasuke struck again with his black blade, but Obito continued to dance through the attacks. Obito knew the Susanu's weakness. It was vulnerable from below. He immediately unleashed wood style, binding thorns. Wooden branches erupted from the earth, ensnaring Sasuke. Sasuke instantly released a Chidori stream, shredding the wood to pieces. Suddenly, Obito sank into the ground, attacking from directly beneath Sasuke. Sasuke's Sharingan saw it coming. He leaped into the air and unleashed a great fireball jutsu from above. This time, Obito didn't phase through the attack. Instead, he created a vortex with his right eye, combining it with his own flames. Fire-style bomb blast dance. A massive firestorm swallowed Sasuke's fireball whole. Stunned, Sasuke immediately activated Amaterasu. The black flames tore through the firestorm. With pure arrogance, Sasuke declared. Sasuke smiled arrogantly and said, "None of your techniques will work on me. The name Madara only sounds imposing and stories. Obito chuckled softly. It seems you won't understand until you taste defeat once more. Sasuke's Susanoo notched an arrow of black flames onto its bow and launched it directly into the sky. The heat radiating from the arrow disrupted the atmosphere, causing thick, dark clouds to gather instantly. Lightning began to crackle violently. Sasuke channeled the sparking electricity in his hand, connecting it to the thunder in the heavens. He screamed like a madman. "This is Kirin, my most powerful lightning-style jutsu. No matter how strong someone is, a single strike from this will turn them to ash." Initially, Obito remained calm because he could phase through it with Kamui, but Sasuke caught him off guard. "You might survive, but what about the white Zetsu hidden beneath your hideout? They will all be obliterated." Obito panicked. He realized Sasuke was crossing a line. Down below weren't just the Zetsu, but also Sasuke's comrade, Karin. A flicker of hesitation crossed Sasuke's eyes for a brief moment, but he immediately turned his heart to stone. He dropped his hand, and the massive lightning dragon, Kirin, descended with a world-shaking roar. Amidst the swirling dust and smoke, Sasuke clenched his fists. "The thorn in my side is finally gone," he thought. But as the smoke cleared, Sasuke stood frozen in shock. A massive wall of purple flames reaching toward the sky had completely neutralized Kirin. Obito spoke calmly. "Uchiha Flame Formation. Even though you were born into the Uchiha clan, I suppose you've never seen this before." Sasuke instinctively began to back away. Obito gave a command to the newly captured Eight Tails through his right eye. In an instant, a massive tailed beast bomb erupted from the vortex of Obito's eye. Sasuke was stunned. He couldn't comprehend how Obito could utilize a tailed beast's technique. The explosion shattered the Susanoo into pieces. Obito grabbed him and said, "I told you, you would have to surrender." He dragged Sasuke into the Kamui dimension so he could reflect on his failures in isolation. Meanwhile, back at the Cloud Village, Naruto's mission was complete. Suigetsu and Jugo decided to leave Naruto's side to search for Sasuke. Naruto didn't stop them. Instead, he gave them the location of Sasuke's secret hideout. He also left them with a message. "Tell Sasuke that Danzo is plotting something massive. If he wants his revenge, he must act quickly, or he will be left with nothing." As Jugo departed, he thought that if he weren't so loyal to Sasuke, he would have loved to serve a leader like Naruto. The next morning, Naruto stood by the shore, watching the waves. With a heavy heart, he said, "Master Jiraiya must be sleeping somewhere in the depths of this ocean." Konan's eyes were also filled with sorrow. "It must be so cold down there in the deep." Naruto's eyes welled up with tears. Their next plan was set. They would find and retrieve Jiraiya's body from the ocean floor, but the task was nearly impossible. The water pressure in that part of the sea was so extreme that no living ninja could even dream of reaching those depths. Naruto had already anticipated the challenges of the deep sea, and that was exactly why he had recruited Kisame into his team. Now, Kisame's unique skills were about to be put to the test. Stepping forward, Kisame merged with his massive blade, Samehada, transforming into his half-shark form. With the aid of his 1,000-feeding sharks technique, he vanished into the crushing depths of the ocean in an instant. Naruto sat silently on the shore, waiting for word from Kisame. He knew Kisame was the best man for the job, but even the strength of a single man could feel insignificant against the vastness of the sea. After hours of waiting, an exhausted Kisame finally breached the surface. Naruto rushed to meet him, his heart full of hope. Kisame had brought back a skeletal remains, covered in sea moss and algae. But as Naruto looked closer at the remains, his heart shattered. The skeleton had both hands intact, whereas Jiraiya had lost an arm in his final battle. Standing nearby, Konan spoke in a low voice. "This is likely the remains of one of Hanzo's soldiers. In the old days, traitors of Omegakure were cast directly into the sea." Konan didn't want to speak the bitter truth, that bodies lost to the ocean often become prey for the creatures of the deep. But Naruto was not one to give up. He had proof that Jiraiya's body could be recovered. He knew of the future scientist Amado, who had used specialized machinery to extract Jiraiya's DNA from this very sea. Though the passage of time made this task feel like finding a needle in a desert, Naruto resolved not to leave this mission unfinished. He sent Kisame back to rest. On the return journey, Naruto was uncharacteristically silent. Seeing his sorrow, Konan apologized, saying, "If it weren't for that war with us, Master Jiraiya would still be alive today." Naruto comforted her, explaining that he had left hatred behind long ago. He was simply thinking that if he possessed the powerful summoning abilities of Pain, the task would be much simpler. Pain possessed summoning beasts that could fight on land, fly through the skies, and navigate underwater, and their numbers were virtually limitless. Konan then revealed a secret Naruto had never known. She explained that all these creatures originate from a hidden world of the Rinnegan, the sovereign domain of the Rinnegan. Only one who possesses the Rinnegan can enter that realm. Naruto was stunned. Even Sasuke had never mentioned this capability in his previous life. He wanted to go there immediately, but Konan stopped him. She explained that one cannot enter this dimension at will. A Rinnegan user typically enters this realm through deep sleep or a dream dreamlike state. Even Nagato had only reached it for the first time after summoning the Gedo Mazo. Naruto fell into deep thought. He had tried to summon the Gedo statue multiple times but had failed. He suspected that Obito was using his Kamui power to hide the statue in his own private dimension. However, Conan believed that Naruto's control over the Rinnegan had become so refined that he might be able to tear open the gateway to that secret dimension even without the statue. Conan had warned him that opening the gateway to that secret dimension could take days or even years, but Naruto didn't have that kind of time. The thought of his master resting in the cold, dark depths of the ocean made him restless. It was then that he remembered the strategy he used during his Rasen Shuriken training. Naruto wove his hands into a familiar seal. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu. His plan was as unconventional as it was brilliant. He ordered thousands of his clones to sleep and dream simultaneously. The logic was simple. The more clones that entered a dream state, the higher the probability of triggering the activation of the sovereign domain of the Rinnegan. Conan watched in awe. "You truly are the #1 unpredictable ninja," she smiled and added, "Let's face this mysterious world tonight." However, the task was far more difficult than it appeared. With such a massive number of clones, the tower ran out of space, forcing most of them to sleep outside on the ground in the pouring rain. Within moments, complications arose. The freezing cold caused some clones to disperse. Others woke up screaming from nightmares, and some even began firing Rasengans at each other in their sleep, vanishing instantly. Seeing Naruto drenched in the rain, Conan's heart softened. She extended her arms and her body splintered into thousands of paper sheets. She moved behind every single Naruto clone, forming paper umbrellas to shield them so they could sleep in peace. Naruto felt a twinge of guilt, but Conan insisted she was merely making a small contribution to atone for her past sins. Naruto calmed his mind, entering a deep trance-like sleep. About half an hour later, every clone vanished at once. Conan knew the plan had worked. Naruto had successfully breached the threshold of the sovereign domain. This was no ordinary place. It was a vast, ethereal realm where the spirits of powerful summoning beasts go after death. As Naruto stood alone in the silence, Conan's voice echoed from above. Using a secret technique, she had linked her consciousness to follow him into this world. She explained that in this realm, sensory perception is the ultimate weapon. Naruto immediately activated his Sage mode and sensed his first target, a massive chameleon. This was the same beast Nagato once used, gifted with the power of invisibility. The rule here was simple: defeat the beast, implant a black receiver, and establish a contract. With Conan's guidance and his own overwhelming power, Naruto quickly brought the chameleon under his control. Within hours, he had formed contracts with all 18 beasts that Pain once commanded: the giant bird, the multi-headed hound, the powerful rhino, and the massive crustacean. He could now summon them anywhere in the world at will. However, of these 18 beasts, only 6 were aquatic, which wasn't enough to scour the entire ocean floor for Jiraiya. Naruto refused to settle. He closed his eyes again, pushing his senses to the absolute limit to find something more. Suddenly, a creature manifested before him that left Naruto frozen in total shock. The creature standing before Naruto was none other than Danzo's summoning beast, Baku. Conan advised him to bring it under his control immediately, explaining that creatures reaching the sovereign domain after death become exceptionally powerful. Baku recognized Naruto instantly and opened its massive maw, attempting to swallow him whole with a powerful suction. Naruto didn't flinch. He used the airflow to launch his black receiver directly at the beast, enslaving it in an instant. An idea struck Naruto. If Baku was here, another old enemy had to be lurking nearby. He created thousands of shadow clones and spread them across the realm. A violent clash erupted between Naruto's clones and the wild spirits of the domain. Within a short time, Naruto successfully formed contracts with over 100 formidable beasts. Suddenly, Naruto's gaze locked onto a specific direction. He used Flying Raijin to teleport himself and Conan to a remote clearing. Standing before them, flickering with a purple aura, was the most fearsome companion of Orochimaru, Manda. The history between them was stained with blood, so Naruto skipped the formalities. He launched a brutal assault and drove a black receiver into Manda's hide, forcing the legendary serpent into submission. With their mission in the Rinnegan's world complete, Naruto and Conan's consciousness returned to their physical bodies. In total, they had secured 152 summoning beasts, over 30 of which were capable of navigating the extreme pressures of the deep sea. Naruto was beginning to celebrate their success when Conan's face turned deathly pale. She collapsed toward the ground. Creating thousands of paper umbrellas to shield Naruto from the freezing rain had completely drained her chakra. The cold and the overexertion had pushed her body past its breaking point. Naruto caught her in his arms, his heart heavy with guilt. He wanted to call out to the villagers for help, but Conan stopped him. She didn't want the people of the rain to see their angel in such a weakened state, fearing it would jeopardize their future missions. As Conan began to lose consciousness, consciousness, Naruto faced a dilemma. He viewed Konan as an elder sister. Seeing her drenched clothes and worsening condition, he realized he couldn't treat her himself without making their relationship awkward in the future. Then, he remembered the perfect person. He instantly activated Flying Raijin and flashed directly into the Hidden Leaf village. The person he was looking for was Shizune. Naruto begged for her help, but given his status as a traitor, Shizune went on high alert. Naruto didn't have time for a debate. He swiftly hoisted Shizune onto his shoulder and, in the blink of an eye, vanished back to the tower of Omegakure. Naruto apologized to a startled Shizune, saying, "I had to resort to this because every second counts." He made it clear his intentions were pure, noting that he could have easily used a Sharingan Genjutsu if he wanted to be malicious. Shizune knew Naruto's true heart, so despite the circumstances, she trusted him and immediately began treating Konan. Shizune immediately entered Konan's chambers and began the treatment. Naruto stood by the tower window, watching the freezing rain fall over the village. A hollow sadness washed over him. The price of being a rebel ninja was far heavier than he had anticipated. Shizune's expertise eventually paid off, and Konan's condition began to stabilize. Naruto thanked Shizune and used Flying Raijin to return her to the Hidden Leaf. Before they parted ways, Naruto delivered a grim message. "Shizune, tell Lady Tsunade to prepare herself to retake the title of Hokage. I will not allow Danzo to return to Konoha alive." After Shizune departed, Naruto sensed a presence lurking in the nearby shrubbery. He instantly unleashed Universal Pull, and a white Zetsu came screaming through the air, landing in his grip. Using the power of the human path, Naruto ripped every memory and piece of intelligence from the Zetsu's mind in a matter of seconds. The Zetsu's memories revealed a shocking truth. Sasuke had successfully obtained his new eyes and was plotting with Obito to raze the Leaf Village to the ground. Obito had an army of 100,000 white Zetsu ready for war. Naruto acknowledged Obito's foresight. The masked man knew the leaf was Naruto's greatest weakness and intended to use it to keep him pinned down. Naruto realized he would have to make even colder and swifter decisions from now on. Returning to Omegakure, he informed Konan of Obito's grand design. Konan was worried, saying, "They are going to these lengths just to stop you." Obito's Zetsu were spread across the globe, feeding him every scrap of information. Naruto decided he needed to establish his own intelligence department. Konan suggested they recruit the most talented young shinobi from the Rain Village, an idea that pleased Naruto greatly. The next morning, they returned to the shore. Kisame had just emerged from the water. Naruto checked on his condition and declared that he would now assist in the search personally. Naruto wove his hand signs and activated the summoning jutsu. In a massive cloud of smoke, dozens of aquatic and amphibious beasts appeared. Naruto distributed his chakra among them, allowing them to remain submerged for extended periods to search for Master Jiraiya. Once everything was in motion, Naruto turned his sights back toward the Cloud Village. To augment his power, he absolutely required the scroll for the lightning-style chakra mode. He used Flying Raijin to reach the outskirts of Mount Tenli, but he did not enter the village immediately. From the Zetsu's memories, he had learned that Killer Bee was dead. Naruto knew that Bee's fate was a direct consequence of his own interference with the timeline. In a rare moment of sentiment, he placed paper flowers at the site in Bee's honor and stared silently at the sky. Having witnessed that horrific future, the old innocence, the boy who promised to save everyone, was gone. To defeat the Otsutsuki, he would now move forward in his own way, without hesitation. He sent one final ultimatum to the Cloud Village: hand over the scroll by tonight, or face the consequences. Upon receiving Naruto's ultimatum, the Raikage was consumed by rage and immediately summoned an emergency council. During the meeting, Dodai suggested that negotiation might be the better path, as Naruto didn't seem to harbor genuine malice toward the Cloud Village. However, the Raikage remained stubborn, demanding only a strategy for victory. Eventually, they identified a weakness in Naruto's Chibaku Tensei. They mobilized 500 shinobi specialized in long-range jutsu, planning to launch a massive coordinated strike to shatter the core the moment Naruto activated the technique. That night, Naruto and Konan materialized in a vacant field within the Cloud Village via Flying Raijin. The moment they stepped onto the soil, Cloud Shinobi swarmed from the shadows, surrounding them. Naruto merely smiled at their preparations. "It seems you've devised a strategy against me, but it will be of no use." Naruto instantly summoned his giant bird and took to the skies with Konan. From the air, he rained down dozens of Flying Raijin kunai across various sectors of the village. Then, the real game began. In a blur of motion, Naruto used the marks to summon different giant beasts into every corner of the village. Chaos erupted instantly. The Raikage lunged forward to intercept Naruto personally, but he was blocked by the multi-headed hound. No matter how many times the Raikage struck, the beast merely grew more heads. Elsewhere, the tactical Dodai used his lava style to trap the giant rhino. Dodai, ever the calm strategist, noticed something peculiar. Naruto's summoning beasts were intentionally avoiding harming innocent civilians and weaker ninja. He realized Naruto was sharing his vision with these creatures. Locking eyes with one of the summons, Dodai spoke directly to Naruto. "Naruto Uzumaki, we must talk." Impressed by Dodai's intellect, Naruto appeared before him instantly. Dodai admitted that Naruto's power far exceeded their expectations and that he wished to stop the senseless loss of his people's lives. He handed over the secret scroll for the lightning-style chakra mode. Naruto respected Dodai's wisdom, withdrew all his summoning beasts, and returned to Omegakure with Konan. Back in the Rain Village, Naruto began studying the scroll. He wanted to evolve this technique further. He decided to integrate the principles of Kakashi's purple electricity into the lightning armor, setting thousands of shadow clones to a grueling training regimen. He mastered making his Chidori completely invisible in a single day. After thousands of failed attempts to find the perfect chakra balance, he finally mastered the purple electricity. The violet bolts erupting from his palms obliterated his own clones in a fraction of a second. Naruto now possessed a lightning armor empowered by purple electricity. Next, he entered Orochimaru's lab with a specific request. Use the reanimation jutsu to bring back Itachi Uchiha. Naruto knew Itachi had once hidden a crow within him containing Shisui's eye, designed to trigger upon seeing Itachi's Mangekyo. However, Orochimaru failed. Kabuto had already claimed Itachi's soul for reanimation. Naruto had anticipated this. He produced the container holding Haiden's head and ordered Orochimaru to construct a new body for him. Haiden was screaming, swearing to sacrifice everyone to his god, Lord Jashin. Naruto immediately cast Kotoa Matsukami on him. Hidan's personality shifted instantly. "Naruto-kun, for your sake, I would bring you the head of my own god." They now had an immortal warrior at their command. Finally, Naruto inspected the intelligence department established by Konan. From 100 elite ninja, he selected 3 exceptional warriors, Ryuko, Setsuna, and Violet. They became known as the 3 stars of Omegakure. Interestingly, Violet was the older sister of the young girl who once served as Pain's second animal path. After fortifying the defenses and strategy of Omegakure, Naruto decided to temper his body into living steel by traveling to the land of lightning's infamous Hell Valley. The climate there is so lethal that it pushes the human physique to its absolute breaking point. Entrusting the command of the village to Konan, Naruto vanished, surging toward the valley with the speed of a lightning bolt. After a grueling night of travel, he reached the mouth of the valley. Shrouding his entire body in a cloak of purple electricity, he plunged into the interior. As he ventured deeper, the environment became horrific. Without warning, the air would shift from bone-chilling frost to incinerating heat. The atmospheric pressure alone was enough to rupture the heart of an ordinary shinobi. After 10 days of relentless endurance, Naruto reached the deepest, forbidden zone of the valley. To his surprise, he found the 4th Raikage already there, drenched in sweat and deep in his own training. The Raikage's eyes widened in disbelief as he turned to see Naruto standing behind him. The Raikage's fury erupted instantly. He hadn't expected Naruto to be capable of surviving this deep. Without a word, he lunged with godlike speed. "Lariat!" Naruto didn't budge. He caught the Raikage's lethal strike mid-air with his bare hands. Refusing to yield, the Raikage gripped Naruto's shoulders with a crushing force. Liger Bomb! A massive electrical explosion rocked the valley. The popped Raikage was certain that no ninja in history had ever survived such a direct hit, but his confidence shattered in the next heartbeat. As the smoke cleared, Naruto emerged, his body radiating a brilliant purple lightning armor. Naruto reversed the momentum, seizing the Raikage by the shoulders. With raw, explosive power, he hoisted the Raikage into the air and slammed him into the earth using the exact same Liger Bomb technique. The Raikage coughed up blood from the impact. Even so, Naruto's hands were trembling. His body hadn't yet fully acclimated to the crushing pressure of the purple lightning mode. That was precisely why he had come here to train. The Raikage was utterly stunned. "How do you know our lightning chakra mode?" Then the realization hit him. "Dodai, he gave you the secret scroll." Naruto replied calmly, "Do not blame Dodai. If he hadn't made that choice, the Cloud Village would be a graveyard by now." Though irritated, the Raikage knew Naruto spoke the truth. He asked, "Why is your lightning mode different? Why does it glow purple?" Naruto smiled. "Want to learn? I can teach you." Naruto genuinely intended to help, but the Raikage took it as an insult to his pride. Pushing his power to the limit, the Raikage activated lightning chakra mode, 100%. His hair spiked upward as he charged at Naruto once more. A fist of pure electricity streaked toward Naruto's face, but Naruto vanished like a violet blur. The Raikage spun instantly for a second strike, which Naruto blocked with crossed arms. Now, it was Naruto's turn to retaliate. He launched a high-speed kick that sent the Raikage airborne, leaping after him to lock him in a hold. Naruto began to spin violently in midair. Lightning crash! He drove the Raikage into the ground with such velocity that they carved a 10-meter deep crater into the earth. Even after crashing into the deep crater, the Raikage refused to stay down. Ignoring the agonizing pain, he lunged forward, grabbed Naruto by the ankle, and slammed him into the earth with raw force. He followed up instantly, hoisting his leg high into the air for a lethal axe kick. With no time to dodge, Naruto unleashed almighty push. A violent chakra blast erupted, stalling the Raikage mid-air before sending him skidding across the wasteland. The Raikage realized that as long as Naruto used his divine visual prowess, he was at a severe disadvantage. He spat on the ground and issued a challenge. If you truly have the guts, can you face me in pure taijutsu without relying on those eyes? Naruto accepted without hesitation, but he set one condition. Fine, but if I win, the Cloud Village will never hunt Sasuke again. The deal was struck. The Raikage surged forward with blinding speed, concentrating every ounce of his chakra into his right index finger. Hell stab, one finger spear. Naruto was genuinely surprised. So, he has mastered the third Raikage's absolute strongest technique. No wonder he was so confident. That lightning spear was a blur, aiming directly for the center of Naruto's forehead. Naruto instantly shrouded himself in his purple lightning armor. When the tip of the finger was a mere 0.01 centimeters from his face, Naruto executed a microscopic, high-speed weave to the side. In the same breath, he ignited his Chidori and drove it straight through the Raikage's shoulder. The Raikage gasped, "This is impossible," before collapsing to the ground. Naruto didn't leave him to die. He bandaged the Raikage's wounds and moved him to a safe location. Then, Naruto manifested thousands of shadow clones and commenced his grueling devil training within the hellish environment of the valley. After days of relentless struggle, Naruto's physical durability finally evolved to the point where he could sustain the purple lightning mode without strain. When the Raikage eventually regained consciousness, Naruto attempted to put aside their past enmity and extended a hand in friendship. However, the Raikage remained stubbornly defiant, consumed by his obsession with avenging his defeat. Witnessing this foolish, persistent pride, Naruto's patience finally snapped. A cold, predatory shadow fell over his face as he fixed the Raikage with a terrifying glare. Naruto was on the verge of unleashing his fury upon the Raikage when his shadow clone, stationed back in the Rain Village, suddenly dispersed. The feedback was instantaneous. A massive crisis had erupted. Without wasting a single heartbeat, Naruto activated Flying Raijin and vanished in a yellow flash, reappearing instantly by Konan's side. Konan wasted no time with the briefing. Akatsuki has mobilized. Obito has launched a full-scale invasion of the Hidden Leaf. Sasuke's team Taka had also joined the fray. Miles away, emerging from a spiral of space-time, Obito, Sasuke, and their forces breached the perimeter of the Leaf's outer forests. The strategy was cold and calculated. Sasuke was to lead the White Zetsu army in a frontal assault on the village, while Obito would intercept Naruto outside the gates to reclaim his Rinnegan. Sasuke cared nothing for the Zetsu. Moving with the speed of a lightning bolt, he ascended to the highest vantage point overlooking the Leaf. He gazed down at the village, rebuilt and more magnificent than ever. A fire of pure hatred ignited in his eyes. Such a grand village, and yet not a single corner was left for the Uchiha. Is this what Itachi gave his life to protect? Fine, let the flames of Uchiha's vengeance consume it all.